Yeah, it is quite alarming. It's a piece by Sam Wallace in the Telegraph on the front page. FA refuses to back Dementia Care Fund. This essentially is outlined. The FA has said it won't contribute to a new fund for care of former players suffering from dementia and other similar conditions which are linked to heading the ball. The Premier League have already pledged their allegiance and support for the fund, but the FA say that the cost of care is responsible on the Premier League and the Football League clubs as well, which is almost like a dereliction of duty, I believe. And it's a slap in the face of players that have suffered from this. There are 303 players known to the PFA that have suffered from dementia, former players. Only 147 of them are still alive. And so it's a story that I know you've talked about this quite extensively. Yeah. You're a player who played in an era where the balls were different, and a lot of players that imagine you played under Jack Charlton suffered from dementia. So I want to get your thoughts on it as a former pro. What does this kind of mean, the FA refusing to back this fund?
Well, the FA have put money into research, so we'll give a benefit of the doubt. Yeah, give some credit on that. Now, there is a number of bodies in world football. You can go from the FA, you can go from the PFA, represent the players. Okay, you can go to the Premier League, FIFA, UEFA. Just generally, there's enough bodies there. A lot of the players who I've spoke to, their fears are not so much, look, they're getting highly rewarded by their contracts in the modern day game. But if you go back years ago, lots of players who suffered, and Nobby Stiles was one of them, by the way, because I spoke to his son about this. And Nobby didn't get any help financially and wasn't a multi-millionaire, wasn't even really a wealthy man, but he didn't get cared for. Now, even if they can get to the base of caring for players, I don't think players are thinking, I can get compensation of £10 million. Actually, for the families, if you pass away and all the help you need along the way, but because dementia can be long, it can be quite a painful experience financially.
Well, and also, I suppose, Cass, as well, for some, it's the care, it's the constant care that people will need, and some people might have to go down a private route in that, because it's so difficult.
But between all the bodies now, there must be some solution for the game. I said to you off air, one thing that really bothers me is the NFL, when they had the issues and they started the process in 1995, a solution came in 2013, which was 18 years down the line, and with that, no one wanted admitted liability. The NFL didn't want that. What they agreed to do was pay $1 billion to the American footballers, ex-players, in a fund, but not liability. And I feel we're heading in that same way, which scares me.
As we saw this article this morning, we were talking about it, and I think what alarms me is that, as you just pointed out, some of the bigger associations, FIFA, UEFA, the FA as well, they will glorify the World Cup, the European Championships. The FA will obviously, rightly so, be glorify the 1966 World Cup winning team. That's one of our most amazing accomplishments ever when it comes to football. So when it comes to that, they're happy to big up those players, but when it comes to looking after them, that's a completely side issue and not relevant. Yeah. And I find that sort of mixed message for me is not right.
This is another issue as well. Players end their careers, let's say for a ballpark, 35 years old, okay? It's a long time down the road before really dementia sets in. Sometimes it's earlier, but generally it can be a 25, 30-year period for dementia to set in. And it's pretty astounding, the numbers of players that have headed the ball and have ended up, it's 3.5, 4 times likelier to get dementia through heading a ball. And that's not just professional football, it's also the amateur route as well. So there's many, many challenges ahead.
Yeah, there is, and it's something that needs to be looked into. And I know, Cass, is something very close to your heart, but it needs to be resolved at some point because there can't be players suffering in silence like this.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Sunday Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.